quote, "Education is not mere learning of facts, but rather training minds to think critically," unquote. Said Albert Einstein, and privatization is one major method that will help the mind to think critically, and the only way to meet the huge demand for higher education today, as the private sector will help bridge the gap between the supply and demand of higher education, thereby providing an access to quality education for all. Let me substantiate. Well, all of us are well aware of a concept called survival of the fittest, aren't we? Well, privatization paves way to wherein the institutes are having a tough competition among themselves, thereby providing a quality education which in turn will lead to providing a better infrastructure, quality and resources. The perfect example for this would be the institutes in the US like Harvard and Stanford, which are known for their high level of excellence. Private universities are also open.
Your time up, Akshita.
Education is the most important and powerful tool invented by mankind for himself or its life. It is a vital source of income, employment, and above all, improving the standard of living. Now, speaking about privatization, I would like to quote, according to what Sir Prabhat Patnaik, a leading economist, has stated, that privatization is literally handing over the business of education to private entities who are actually profit-making entities, and here we are considering education as a mere commodity. According to Aristotle, knowledge is the most important virtue that defines the character of an individual, and it becomes the moral duty of every state to provide accessible education to every sections of the society and not consider education as a business, and therefore the state should never outsource education as a business to private entities. Thank you.
First and foremost, when it comes to a private institute, there's flexibility in curriculum that I would like to point out, where institutes like Indian School of Business, Manipal University Academy of Higher Education, they offer specialized MBA program, which will in turn help us in having a competitive edge in job market, wherein the syllabus is being turned, the history is being rewritten. This kind of a policy is very important.
Out to you.
I would like to bring about the notice into the situation called as mushroom colleges. There is budding of mushroom colleges in India which are offering degrees as basically selling degrees. In such a case, we must understand the fact that these kind of markets are being developed only when there is privatization in higher education, and this is also accelerating unemployment in India.
Out to you.
Exactly my point. See, when there is a private institute, it's not just that we are promoting the profit count, or it's not just that the private institutes are based only for money, but rather there's something called as public-private partnership, wherein the public colleges can partner with the private colleges, and as long as there's no privatization, where is the scope for both of them to collaborate and create a better content?
I would like to bring to your attention that according to recent estimates from the EDI, Education Data Initiative, it was found that approximately 282.4% is the increase in the expense of education from private institutes in comparison to public colleges. Thereby, education is coming at a very hefty price when we try to collaborate with private institutions.
And that is exactly why we have greater funding when it comes to private institutes. We have donations, endowments, which encourages philanthropy and investment of resources in education.
I would like to come forward with the point that in private institutes, there is strict rules and regulations. And in such perspective, if you see the number of teachers who are getting employed, it's definitely high. But what is the job satisfaction that teachers have at private institutes? They're forced to follow the kind of rules and regulations in a private institute. Therefore, job satisfaction is less. And thereby the education, the quality of education being imparted to the students at private institutes is deteriorating.
Job satisfaction in private institutes cannot even be compared to that of a public college, because as long as I'm concerned, when it comes to a public college, teachers are rather not concerned about the students' progress as such at all. But when it comes to a private institute, their progress and their performance actually matters. If they don't perform well, they get fired. So they are entitled to perform well, to teach well, thereby have a job satisfaction.
Thank you.
I would like to also comment on the fact that in private institutes, we have students who are only manufactured as docile individuals for the market force. They are only being created just to ensure that their proper career is being developed, not on their complete character development.
Okay.
A career development has to come from within, and it has very little to do with the fact that they are learning in a private institute. As long as they are capable enough, they are confident enough, a private institute can only give them better resources for them to progress or for them to uplift themselves to become a better citizen.
Clear.
I would like to give an example of a country called as Finland that is known for manufacturing Nokia. It's a country where this entire education system was considered the worst back in 1960s. But now it is considered as the best education systems in the world. And what is one policy that they've implemented is ensuring that all the colleges, including schools, are state funded, thereby ensuring there is equality in education and also quality in higher education.
Okay.
By quoting just a single country, we cannot put that into effect to every country for that matter. And speaking of India in particular, with such a large population in hand, it's very difficult to tackle all the problems that Indian students face just by public methods. And that is exactly why privatization has to be imposed so that we can tackle the problems
Thank you.
that we are facing today.
Please.
When it comes to education, we need to know that we have a flexible language that we can incorporate. And in India, the government has ensured and has brought about the National Translation Language Mission, in which the government colleges have been entertained, have been encouraged to come about with local languages, that is inclusive development of education, which is currently a part of government
And
colleges.
thank you so much.